Yeah, Shilpa, you were actually telling that it is required for library purposes. We can create a library. So what is a library? Hello? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, fine. So, okay. Guys,
And not to define functions and all, we can use that.
okay, fine. So let me actually execute this program. Before execution, the one thing that is going to happen is compile. So I need to compile this whole code before execution of the code. So how do I actually compile it? Before actually compiling it, I have to save it. So let me save this in desktop. Okay, why it is coming?
And it's actually the source code what you are saving, Anna.
Yeah, I'm actually saving the source code. Later on, I have to compile it. Using here, you can see that compile and run option is there over here. So if I compile that one, it is gonna compile and execute. So here you can see that introduction to the NLP. So what I have written is that it is gonna print. So if I don't include this hash include stdio.h, so let me remove that one. So later on, if I compile that one, see, I'm getting this output just because the previous executed file has saved the function library. Okay, so before that one, if I don't compile it, I'm not able to go use the printf functions, because in hash include stdlib, that is standard library functions, you are importing that one just because to make use of the printf functions and the scanf functions. Without that one, you are not going to print anything in this program. Okay, so why I'm telling this is that in C programming language, you have to write the code, you have to compile it, you have to execute the code. But in case of the Python, it's not like that. So you can use any kind of interpreter or any kind of editor to run the code immediately after you write the code. So let me show that. So for C programming language, what are all the editors that you have used to run the programming? That like I am using Dev C++ over here. So C programming language, you must be using code compilers. Like, am I right? What is the editor name that you were using in C programming language?
Code block.
Ah, yeah, code block. So for Python, we'll be using a Google Colab. Okay, why just because we'll be using Google Colab means, as Shilpa told, we'll be using libraries. So in our computer, all the libraries will not be there inbuilt. So we'll be taking the help of online compilers to build the code. Okay, let me give some introduction about Google Colab. So later on, we'll be dealing with the Python. So as you can see my screen over here, I am in my Google Drive. So before going to the Google Drive, let me actually show you Google Colab. Go to the Google and just type Google Colab. So here you can see that Google Colab is one of the thing where you can actually create a notepad or any kind of thing to execute all the programming which includes Python. Okay, here you can also deal with HTML, latex and other versions too, but for this interactions will be taking the help of Python. So if I enter over here, you will be getting some recent files which you have done previously. Let me take the new notebook. Yeah, if I want to execute something, uh, should I need to allocate some memory for that or not? Yeah, you have written a code, so you want to create an array.
Yes, and now we need to allocate memory.
yeah, we have to create a memory for that one, right? So by just clicking on the editor, it won't allocate memory. So we need to allocate some memory to it in order to run it. So here is an options to connect it. So once I click on the connect, it is going to allocate some memory for me to execute the code. As you can see over here, it is allocating some memory, and it is going to connect with the Google server. So and all the codes which we have written in this will be saved in our drive. See, as you can see over here, the RAM is actually sufficiently allocated for us on the disk. Okay. So and also you can see over here, what is the extension of C programming language? So in order,
C++ programming. Then.
no,
Dot
it's
C.
not like that. Dot C. Who told that one?
Shilpa.
Okay. So for Python, it is .py. So when you are actually when you actually write the code and when you are saving it, you have to save in the extension of .py. But in this case, as you can see over here, it is actually showing IPYNB. Just because we are using Google Colab and it is an online compiler, it will be like that only. Okay, let me save this NLP. Oh, sorry, Python day 1, and you have to save the code. So, okay, I have done actually this one, and you can actually write the code over here, and you can execute as soon as you write the code. It's not like that in C programming. We will actually write the whole code and we'll be executing. Okay. So first of all, let us learn how to print the statements in C programming language. So no, sorry, in Python. So in C programming, we were actually using printf statements, right? Print if statements, but in Python, it's only print. So I have written the code. So in C programming language, we were actually writing semicolon to end the statements, but in Python, it's not necessarily required. So as soon as I write print welcome guys, so it is gonna print welcome guys. Okay, in order to execute, you can click over here. You can click over here, or you can actually click. You can actually enter Shift Enter. See, as soon as I entered, so it is coming as welcome guys. So this is the first thing you can learn in Python. So it is very much easy. It's not like you have to import something and you have to create, you have to compile it, you have to save it, and all those things is not necessary as in the case of the C programming language. But in the case of the Python, you can actually write the code and you can execute then and there itself. So guys, did you got the idea behind creating a Google Colab and printing the statements? Is there any doubt?
No, Sushin, but the thing is, I know like they use Python 2 and Python 3, which is the language which you are using, and what is the difference between Python 2 and Python 3?
Python 2 is
Uh,
actually a older versions. So where the evolution of the Python actually came to the picture when we were using a Python 2.5 or 3 something. So later on, some of the libraries actually keep on building, and inbuilt the libraries actually been held over there. It's a newer version of it, so only the new kinds of libraries will be there. There's no lot of difference between Python 2.5 or Python 3.6. Only the thing is the libraries are actually included in the newer versions.
okay, is there any syntactical change between Python 2 and Python?
Not much. Sometimes there will be a syntactical changes, like we have to use capital P. Sometimes we have to use small p. It depends upon the version and the documentations, which I'm going to cover later.
Okay, okay.
Okay, fine. Others, do you have any doubt regarding how to create a Google Colab and how to access that and how to print the statements in Python? So this is the first code you have learned in Python. Do you have any idea about it? Do you have any doubts about it? Yeah, guys. Vilas, do you have any doubt? I want to call names right now.
No.
Otherwise, it is will be difficult for.
Anna, do you want to do this simultaneously with you?
If it is done like that, it will take a lot more time. It is up to you guys how you actually take. I will be sending this copy. I want you to do it in home separately, or you can do it with me also, because if you have any doubts, you can have the clarification then and there itself. If not, actually I will be sending this documents whatever I type over here. You have to practice. Without practice you won't get anything. Since this is a very first programming language for you guys, it will be quite difficult and will be much easy. Others?
Okay.
Shivraj, Vishrut, do you have any doubts? Okay.
Hello, Anna.
Yeah.
Anna, what is the difference between compiler and interpreter, Anna?
Compiler is actually converts the source code into a bytecode. Okay. Interpreter is the one which actually converts this bytecode into a machine code. So all those things will be done inbuilt in Python itself. As we have done in the case of C programming language, we actually externally manually we used to compile it. Then later on, the compiled file will be executed.
Yeah.
Whereas in the case of the Python, how the source code will be converted into a bytecode. That is actually happening through the compiler, and later on interpreter will actually takes this bytecode and converts into a machine code, then it will be executed.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, fine. Let us move. So in my drive I have created an NLP, and here is some of the basics of Python which I have created to introduce you. So let me actually okay. Yeah. So let us start with the variables. So what is a variable in C programming language? Not only in C. So what is exactly a variable?
Now we can initialize some values to it and type throughout the program.
Okay, a name given to an identifier or something like. Okay. So what is the syntax with that we are using in C programming language? That is a data type. Data type. Okay. Data type. Variable name is equal to some value and a semicolon. Right? What are the different kinds of data types that we have?
Integer, character, string, and Boolean values.
Yeah, integer, float values, boolean values, strings, it can
Double.
be double. Yeah, it can be like that. But in case of the Python, you can actually initialize the variable just by assigning it. Okay, a is equal to 1. So I just assigned the values and I just run it. See, it is allocating some memory over here. I have not done that before. Yeah, so I just run it, and the value of a is 1 now. So if I actually run the code, what is that? If I actually type a and execute, the value of a is actually 1. Okay, what is the type of what is the data type of a?
Integer, Anna.
Integer. Fine. So how does the Python know that? I have not told the Python that it is an integer, but I have just initialized the value a is equal to 1. How does the Python know that? In C programming language, we were actually writing data type and variable name is equal to some values like that. So I am the
Based on the value, it will.
yeah, based on the value and the library which is present in the Python, make that the value of a is an integer. So how do I test that one? So whether the value of a is an integer or a float, how do I actually check that one? So here is a
Print
syntax for that.
type of a.
Yeah, here is a syntax for that. Okay. Mm. In order to check that one, here is a syntax. So where you will be checking the type of a. So if you actually type of a, so and execute, here you can see that the value, the data type of a is integer. Similarly, let me reassign it. Okay, wait. Yeah, let me assign the value for a is equal to 1.2356. So what is the type of a? Data type of a?
Float.
Float. So let me check that one. Type of a. See, it is coming it as float. So okay, let me change the type to string. So what is a string according to you?
Of characters.
Yeah, anything that is written inside a double quote or a single quote in the case of the Python is going to be a string. Okay, so let a is equal to I want all of them to speak in this session. Okay, so I have written a is equal to some sentence in a double quotes. So this is actually a string initializations. So let me run this code. So after that, let me execute a. If I execute a, I'm going to get the string. Okay, so what is the type of string? Sorry, what is the type of a? It is showing that it is belongs to the data type of string. Okay, so did you guys got? We are not actually initializing anything over here. We are not actually telling the compiler that the perfect data type. It is only thinking and it is actually executing. In case of C programming language, we have to manually write the data type and we have to execute the program. But in this case, it's not like that. The inbuilt compiler itself is going to treat the things itself. Okay, how do you actually
Anna,
initialize?
Anna, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Anna, we initialize string here, right?
Yeah.
Like you use the double quotes, but we got the output in single code. Like in Python, does it take single code input in string?
Yeah, it can take single input string also.
Like usually in C programming and Java, we use double quotes, right? That was the doubt I had.
Yeah, in C programming and Java we will be using a double quotes, but since a single code will be a character, right? So okay, the series of characteristics will be a string. So in Python, so both the syntax will be taken place.
Okay. Anna.
Okay, just okay. How do you actually initialize different kinds of the variables? Say for example, I want to initialize a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to 3. So in C programming language, we'll be writing like a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, c is equal to 3 in 3 different lines. But whereas in this case, we can actually initialize in a single line. Okay, let me write a comma b comma c is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. So if I actually write like this, the value of A will be 1, the value of B is equal to 2, and the value of C is equal to 3. So let me execute this. Okay, if I write A, if I execute B, if I execute C. So did you make the difference what I have done over here? So how easy it is in Python. So whereas in case of the C programming language, we have to write the data type, we have to initialize the values in 3 different lines, which is going to take a lot more memory for that. Okay, do you have any doubts till now? Do you have any doubts like what are the different kinds of variables that you want to know? Are you understanding what I am telling?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any others who is not speaking? Yeah. If you're not understanding, please tell me. Because this is a basic thing before knowing the natural language processing. If you don't know this one, and it's actually a waste.
ಅಣ್ಣ
Yeah.
ಅಣ್ಣ ಇನ್ ಪೈಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಕಂಪೈಲರ್ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಈಗ x is equal to 5 and x is equal to v ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ವೈ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ
Because we are not actually using print, because we are using it in a editor itself. Okay, editor is different and file is actually different. So once you run the whole code in a different manner, like you want to you have a different set of codes which is much more longer than this one, where you are not going to execute only a single statement. Okay, so in that particular period of time we'll be using printf itself. Here also we can use printf, but since it is going to execute here itself, we'll be dealing with this like that only. But when there is a lot more code where you have to write in a Python script itself, you have to compile, you have to save, you have to compile, and then you have to execute that one. So let me show that one itself also. So here I am using here I'm not using online compiler. Here I have downloaded Python 3.6.7 shell. So it is an editor. Here there is an editor. If I write like a is equal to 25, see, a is equal to 25, then and there itself it is actually executed. But we have to create a file in order to write the whole code. Say for example, I have to write like a is equal to 25 and print a. So before actually compiling it, I have to save this one. So then I have to execute this file. See, it is printing now. So did you make a difference over here, Vilas? It is just an editor over here. You have to create a file in a different file, like by creating an extension .py. Okay, so let me move. So I have done all these things, identifiers. Okay, as you know that some of the identifiers you can actually cannot initialize by giving the variables names to it. Like integer, you can actually cannot take int as in variable names. That I want to tell you. Okay, let me go to the numerical operations. Oh my god. So what are the numerical operations that can perform over here is a is equal to what is the value of a? It is actually 1. B is equal to b is actually 2. Simply I can write a plus b in order to compute that one. See, you can see that the value of a is equal to 1, the value of b is equal to 2. So the addition of a and b is 3. Similarly, you can also do a minus b. It is minus 1. So and a plus b. Sorry, a into b. It is 2. So and a divided by b. So in case of the C programming language, if you want to do like a to the power of b, what is the function that you are going to use it? Say for example, I want the value of a is equal to 1, the value of b is equal to 2. So I want 1 to the power of 2 to be executed in program. So how do you do that?
Mat.pow.
Huh? Mat dot
Mat.pow a comma b.
mat.pow a comma b. So that's in Python itself. You are telling, or C programming language.
Anna?
In which language you are telling that one? Mat.pow.
Anna, Java, Anna.
Okay, you are telling in terms of Java. Okay. In C programming language, how we are going to use that one?
Anna, we have to, in C programming, we have to initialize a library starting and then POW.
Yeah. What is the library that we have to initialize? Mat.
Yes. Math.lib.
Matplotlib, not matplotlib. It's mat.h. Yeah, mat.h. So you are going to include the library mat.h, and then we will be taking the help of the power functions and this. But in Python, it's very easy. You know what is thing? See, you know that 1 to the power of 2 is how much? 1 itself. Anything to the power of 1 is 1 itself. So a into b. See, it's very easy. Okay, let me initialize some other values. A is equal to 2 and b is equal to 2. Okay, 2 square is actually 4. We know that. So let me execute this one. 4. So you are not actually including any kind of library over here. Yes, you can actually make use of libraries, as Shivraj told that we can use mat.power. Still in Python also it is there. We can actually use that one also, but it is very simple over here. So did you make a difference? Hello, I want this to be interaction sessions. Only some people are actually
Yes, Anna.
speaking. Only Shivraj, Vilas, Preksha and Roshni, Shilpa. Only these people are actually speaking. I want others to speak. If you are not understanding, then and there itself you tell me, and I am not understanding. Please explain me once again. So this is the first time I am teaching, guys. Even I don't know how to teach. This is the first time I'm teaching. So I just want to feedback from your side. From your side.
Anna,
Can you just give that example with a equal to 2 and b equal to 3?
Yeah, A is equal to
2 and b equal to 3. That will be a more difference, like a
Yeah.
equal to 2 and b equal to 2. That is multiplication.
A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3. Okay, 2 cube is 8. So A into B. See?
Okay, I think Ashwini has some question.
Yeah, Ashwini. Go ahead.
Anna, if log functions, if you want to write it like.
Yeah, I'm coming for that one. Before that, I want to come on one more thing. As you can see over here, as we executed A by B, so the value of A is equal to 1 and the value of B is equal to 2. So let me reinitialize the values. A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 2. So A by B is actually, it is giving us 0.5 over here. So it is actually a float value. So I just want an integer value. How do I convert the float value into an integer value? In case of C programming language, we'll be using a ceil function or a float function. Yeah, Shivraj.
Anna, typecast ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಅಣ್ಣ?
Typecast ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. So like integer of, float of, ಆ ಥರ. So but instead of using any kind of libraries, I just wanted to know how we can actually convert the value. I just want to truncate the value from float to an integer. Okay, let me tell that one how it is going to happen. So as in the case of power, we are using 2 multiplication operator, whereas in this case we'll be using a 2 division operator. That's it. So a by b, the value will be 0. So let me give another example. So the value of a is equal to 2, the value
ಅಣ್ಣ
of
ಇವಾಗ ಇದು ಸೀಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತಗೊಂತು ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಣ್ಣ,
ಹಾ
ಸಾರಿ ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತಗೊಂತು.
ಹಾ
ಈಗ ಅದು ಸೀಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಣ್ಣ,
ಸೀಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ
Okay.
ಟ್ರಂಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ನು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಂಟೀಜರೇ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ 0.5 ಇಂದ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. ಬಟ್ ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸೀಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಸೀಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು.
ಓಕೆ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಬಿ ಎಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಆಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ತಗೊಳಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು.
ಓಕೆ ಅಣ್ಣ.
Okay, let me give another example. A by b, sorry, a by b. Yeah, it is taking seal value. Oh, sorry, floor value. Okay, fine. Ashwini was asking something.
ಬಾರ್ ಎ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ
B double bar A. 1, 3 by 2. It's 1.5. So it is actually taking 1.
ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅದು?
Mod function ತಗೊಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿನಗೆ
ಲೈಕ್
ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ
ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತಗೊಂತಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಮಾಡು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಬಿ mod a. See, so let me take an a is equal to, it's not, let us not take a is equal to, let me change b value is equal to 4 and a value is equal to 2, sorry, not 2, let me take a is equal to 5, b is equal to 5 and a is equal to 2. Okay, b mod a, it is 1. Did you understand? Yeah. Okay. Ashwini was asking how to do the log functions and all those things. As in the case of the C programming language, we'll be using mat.h function, right? Hash include mat.h. Yes or no? In order to call the function of log.
Yes.
So in this case, we are actually importing the library called as math. Instead of going to the log functions, let me actually do the factorial functions. It will be very much helpful for you. Before that, as I told that in C programming language, we'll be using mat.h. In this case, we'll be importing math function. Okay, fine. So if you want to convert anything, or if you want to compute the factorial functions, like the factorial of 5 is 120, the factorial of 4 is some other value, factorial of 3 is some other value, factorial of 2 is 4, like that. So how do you actually do the programming in C programming or in case of Java? How do you use factorial as a function?
mat.fact.
Yeah, mat.fact in case of by using the function. Okay, I just want in a procedure, like how you are actually going to use it in case of the by using for loop functions or while loop functions.
ಅಣ್ಣ ಫಾರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೋಡ್ ಹೇಳ ಅಣ್ಣ ಅಥವಾ ಹೇಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ?
Like just approach ಹೇಳು ಸಾಕು.
ಓಕೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಈಗ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 4 ಅಂತಾನೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಟು 1, I is equal to 1, and we should keep on increasing the value till 4 and multiply each of them.
Each of them will be
Like
multiplying that ones. Okay, fine. Then we'll be getting the factorial of any kind of number.
ಹೌದು.
Okay, let me do it over here itself. Let a is equal to 1. So then I will be taking the help of the for loop. So as of now, since you don't know for loop, just leave it. I will be explaining it later. So for I in range of something like, let me compute the factorial of phi itself. So I will be range of 1 comma 6. Okay, so then I will be a is equal to a into I. So I have computed this one. So then I have executed. This is the functions which I took the help to execute the factorial. So what will be the value of a now? The value of a will be 120, just because I have computed for 5 factorial. Okay, did you understand?
Sushin, sorry to interrupt again. Can you just explain how that range function works? Because probably no one knows Python here. Most
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them doesn't know.
yeah.
Just explain the range function and then you can come to for loop.
Yeah. I will be doing that.
I explain this once, Anna.
Okay, fine. Okay. As I told earlier, forget about the for loop function as of now. Okay. So what I am doing is over here is that by taking the help of the for loop, I am actually doing the 5 factorial. Okay, did you got the idea behind what I am doing? Just forget about the code. Okay, just I am telling you that by using a for loop, in case of C programming itself, what is the approach for I is equal to 0? Okay, let me write over here. In case of the C programming, let me actually add a text. Okay, for, so I want to initialize int I is equal to 0. I should be less than 5 or something. Yeah, 5, and I plus plus. Okay, then a is equal to a into I. So before that I have to initialize a is equal to 1. Okay, so what will be the output of this program? Guys, it's same what I have done earlier.
Yeah, it's 24. So just make it I less than 6 or I less than or equal to 5.
Yeah, I less than or equal to 5. Okay, so the value of a is equal to 120. So this is the function which is returned to execute the factorials. So did you got any idea what I am doing now? So if not, you just ask me the questions, I will be telling you.
ಅಣ್ಣ ಪೈಥಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂದಾನೆ ಐ 1ಗೆ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಣ್ಣ? 1ಗೆ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಾ ಅಣ್ಣ, 0ಗೆ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಾ?
ಪೈಥಾನ್ ಕಡೆ ಇವಾಗ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, ಫಾರ್ ರೇಂಜ್ ಅಂತ ಇರೋದು.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಣ್ಣ, ಈಗ ಸಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಐನ 1ಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಲೈಕ್ ನಾವೀಗ ಪೈಥಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಐ ರೇಂಜ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ವಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ. ಈಗ ಐ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅದು 0 ತಗೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ, 1 ತಗೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ?
ಐ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 1 ತಗೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು 1 ಅಂತ. ಸೊ 1 to n-1 ತನಕ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಆಮೇಲೆ
ಅಣ್ಣ ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಐ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಣ್ಣ, ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ?
ಓಕೆ, ಫೈನ್. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ನಾನು ಈಗಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಹಂಗಿದ್ರೆ. It will be easy for you guys. See, in this case, I is actually initialized to 1. Okay, and it is actually incremented over here, I plus plus. So the condition for this is that I should be less than or equal to 5. So in case of Python, there won't be a condition. There won't be a conditions, only initialization and incrementation will be there. Okay, you can actually include the conditions inside the for loop itself. Okay, let me explain you this one. So the syntax for loop is for I in range of 1 comma 6. Why I'm taking range over here is that range is actually a function. Okay, it is gonna range from 1 to n minus 1. Okay, if I print I, so for the first time I will be initialized to 1. For the second iteration, the I will be initialized to 2. For the third iteration, I will be initialized to 3 till I will be initialized n minus 1, that is 6 minus 1. Okay, let me
ಓಕೆ
execute
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
this
ಈಗ
one.
ನೀವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಐನ ರೇಂಜ್ ಲೈಕ್ ನಾವು ರೇಂಜ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟಿರೇಷನ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು
Huh. I will
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
be
ಈಗ
1.
ನಾವು ರೇಂಜ್ 6 to 10 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಐ 6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Exactly. I will be 6
Okay.
and then I will be 7, 8, 9, 10 minus 1, that is 9 till 10.
Okay.
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 So if I execute this program, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is coming like this. If I initialize like this, okay, let me initialize from 0 to 6, that is 0 to 5 will be printed. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do you have any
ಇದು ಇನ್ಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಲೈಕ್ ಅದೇ ತರ 6 to 0 ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ವೇನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತಾ?
ರೇಂಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನೋಡೋಣ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ.
ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ.
6 to 0 ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಎರರ್ ಬರಬಹುದು. ಏನು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಣ್ಣ ಡಿಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ರೇಂಜ್ ಬದಲು?
ನೀನು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನೇ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ನ. ಬಟ್ ಆ ಥರ ಏನು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ರೇಂಜಸ್ನ. ಬಟ್ ರೇಂಜಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಲೋಯರ್ ಟು ಹೈಯರ್.
ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ನ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಥರನಾ?
ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಸುಶಿನ್,
ಯಾ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್?
nothing. Sorry, I got it.
Okay, Vishrat was telling something.
ಅದೇ ಅಣ್ಣ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು, ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಇದು ಎರರ್ ಏನು ತೋರ್ಸಲ್ವಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ? ರೇಂಜ್ 0,6 ಬದಲು 6,0 ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ
ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ
that be an error?
That won't be an error because the cursor will be pointing from 6 to 0 itself. It is not going to print anything.
Okay.
ಅಣ್ಣ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 6 ಆರು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅಣ್ಣ ಅವಾಗ? ಲೈಕ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಲೈಕ್ 6 ಇಂದ ಅದು ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು 7, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 6 ಆರು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ?
6 ಆರು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. I don't know why it is not printing. It's not giving an error.
ಶಿವರಾಜ್, ರೈಟ್? ಶಿವರಾಜ್, ನಾವು ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಿವಲ್ಲ, ಫಾರ್ i equal to 0, ನಿನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ ವೈಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡೂ ವೈಲ್ಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ? ವೈಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡೂ ವೈಲ್ಗೆ, ಡೂ ವೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಇಟರೇಷನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟೇ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್.
ಓಕೆ ಅಣ್ಣ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಫಾರೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅಣ್ಣ?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರೇ ಇದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, i less than equal to 6 ಅಂತ.
like
ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಲೂಪ್, ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ತಾನೆ?
We can actually make use of range also, but you can actually use another thing also. It's not always a range itself. Suppose if you want to compare something which is related to strings, where you will be having conditions based on the strings. So there you can actually cannot use a range. You can make use of another functions too. So before that one, this is the basic thing. If you understand this one, we can actually move ahead. So do you have any doubts in this? Because this is for loop is actually a different thing, which is very much necessary, and it is quite complicated in Python. Quite complicated, but later on you will be understanding in a very good manner. So others, do you have any doubt?
No.
No, Anna.
Okay, you got how to print this one, right? Okay, so I want to print Okay, fine. Okay, like let me go to, okay, after this one, you know how to do the factorial function, right? What is the factorial of 4? What is the factorial of 4?
24.
24.
Okay, 24. So what is the thing I have to write to execute the factorial of 4 over here? What are the things I need to change over here to execute the factorial of 4?
Range ಅಣ್ಣ.
Okay,
Range
range.
0 to
What is 0 to? Is it 0
5.
to 6? Is it starting from
5.
0?
0
1
to
to
5.
5 ಅಣ್ಣ.
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
1
0 ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇಟರೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Okay, 0 in ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. I will be taking the
Multiply
value of 0.
ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ.
Okay. Initially I should take the value of
1,
1. Fine. 1 to
5,
5. Why 5?
5.
n-1 ತನಕ.
Yeah, exactly. So over here, see, in case of the in case of C programming, we'll be writing flower braces, right? But here we'll be using colon and the indentation.
A is equal to A into I.
Okay, A is equal to A into
I. Print A.
Okay, fine. Print
ಲೂಪ್ ಇಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದು
loop in the ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದು. So how do I come out of the loop? I'm not having any kind of flower braces over here. How do I come out of the loop?
backspace.
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 Yeah. So in Python, the main thing is that you need to follow the spaces. Okay. One indentation is equal to 5 spaces. It actually depends upon the compiler which you are using. In this particular case, it is only assigning us the values. Like as soon as I entered over here, it is showing me to write the code in that cursor itself. Okay. Basically, it will be having 5 spaces. Okay. In order to come out of the loop, I have to go to the cursor into the initial position. Okay, fine. Then I will be printing print A. So let me execute this first. Later on I will be executing this one. So the value of A is equal to 24. You got it. How to print the factorial thing. So can I make use of math function? As Ashwini was telling that we have to use log function. I actually took the example of factorial function in order to make you understand, because it actually includes for loop also. So I'll be taking the help of math function. Before that one, in your AEC lab or any kind of electronics lab, if I give you one IC or any kind of a thing, what is the first thing you are going to do? I just give you an IC naming that 741 or something else, L293D. What is the first thing that you are going to look into it?
Data sheet.
Yeah, data sheet. Later on,
ಅಣ್ಣ ಡೇಟಾ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಣ್ಣ? ಲೈಕ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಇ ಸಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಐ ಸಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ.
okay, fine. Do you know about ICs?
ಐ ಸಿ ಗೊತ್ತು ಅಣ್ಣ.
Okay,
ಲೈಕ್
IC ಅಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ IC ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಕಣ್ಣಾರೆ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಸುಮ್ ತೋರಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಅಣ್ಣ
Arduino
ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಗೇಟ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ ಅದು. ಹಾ, ಆರ್ಡಿನೋ ಒಂದು ರೇಂಜಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಅಣ್ಣ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಐ ಸಿ ನೋಡಿದೀವಿ, ಲೈಕ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತು, ಲೈಕ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ 7 ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ.
ಬಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ಆರ್ಡಿನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಆರ್ಡಿನೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅನಲಾಗ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಹಾ, ಕೇಳಿದೀವಿ ಅಣ್ಣ.
ಓಕೆ, ಫೈನ್.
ಲೈಕ್ ನಾವು
ಎನಿ
ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತು.
ಯಾವುದೇ ಐಸಿಸ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಡೇಟಾ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಪಿನ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ಸು ಮತ್ತೆ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್. ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಲುಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟು?
ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ,
RAM, everything.
ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸರ್.
Yeah, the specifications that you are going to look into it.
ಸೇಮ್ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಡೇಟಾ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಯಾವ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವೆದರ್ ದ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಇದೇನಾ, ಅಂದರೆ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡು, ಈ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋ ಕಡೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಥರ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಜನರಲಿ ವಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಯಾವ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಪಿನ್ಸು ಯಾವ್ದು ಯಾವ ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಪಿನ್ಸ್. ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಿನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ 16 ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ 32 ಪಿನ್ಸ್ ಆ ಥರ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಯು ಜಿ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ನೀನು ಸುಶೀನ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಆರ್ಡಿನೋ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಆರ್ಡಿನೋ ಮೆಗಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡು, ಅದು ಮೇ ಬಿ ಅದು ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅದು 64 ಪಿನ್ಸ್
60
ಇದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಂ, ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಡಿವೈಸಸ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಈಗ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಪಿನ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಪಿನ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಅಂದರೆ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಒಂದೇ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಏನಿರಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಮೆಲ್ಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ 5 ವೋಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್, ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ 5 ವೋಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕರೆಂಟು ಮಿಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಪ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಒನ್ ಅದು. ಸೊ ಟೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಒನ್ನಿಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಟಿಪಿಕಲ್ ಏನು, ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಏನು ಥರ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು.
ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಚಾರ್ಜರ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಅದೇ ಅಣ್ಣ, ಲೈಕ್ ಸಿ ಪಿ ಯುಸ್ ಅಡ್ಯಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತಲ್ಲ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಡೇಟಾ ಶೀಟ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಪಿನ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ವೈ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಪಿನ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ಸ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಇಟ್ in order to get the output. Fine. But in case of computer language, we'll be passing the parameters in functions. We'll be getting a return type. So are you understanding what I'm telling? So if you define a function, you will be having a return type and the parameter that you are actually giving as an input. Exactly in case of the computer language, if you are actually using some other kind of libraries, the first thing you need to check is the documentation part. Okay, fine. So let me use the math function, import math. Okay, so I'm importing the math function over here. Okay, let me execute this one. As in the case of the factorial, I will be taking the help of math over here. So math, okay, a is equal to math dot, okay, from math import factorial. See, math is actually a library. I have imported it, and in the math I have the function called factorial. Okay, that is actually an inbuilt function. So in factorial, the code will be written, which you have written earlier. As in this case, we have written manually. But since we are actually taking the help of the libraries, the code will be inbuiltly printed on it. Inbuiltly it will be defined over there. So by taking the help of the factorial function, I can easily compute the things. So let me write like this. A is equal to factorial of 5. So the value of A now will be 120. Similarly, let me do like this. B is equal to factorial of 10. The value of B will be something huge number. So did you got an idea why we are actually making use of libraries here?
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು.
Others? See, this is the math function. So I am making use of factorial function, which is actually inbuiltly written. As in the case of you were writing in C programming language like a hash include stdio.h. So you have not written printf function, but you are passing some values into it. In printf function, or in case of the scanf functions, you are actually passing some values into it. So how do you know that the factorial the function factorial which is present in math. Just because I told you that the factorial is one of the functions which belongs to the math, and we can actually take the help of factorial and we can actually pass some value into it. So how do you know that if I want to implement some other mathematical operations like log, sin x, cos x?
ಅದೇ ಅಣ್ಣ ಡೇಟಾ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಕ್ ಪೈಥಾನ್ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ನ ಕಳಿಸ್ದೆ 5 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. 5,6 ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ನಂಗೆ ಎರರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಎರರ್ ಬಂತು? ವೈ ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ಎರರ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಪಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ನೋ how much is the amount of parameters that you can pass, what is the output of that one, and everything, you have to make use of documentation part. So let me go into the documentation part. So in Google I will be typing like math function in Python documentation. Yeah, see, as soon as we enter into the Python section, we'll be getting lot more functions which is defined in math. Ceil of x, as we have discussed, the value is actually the input parameter that we are going to pass is only one, whereas in this case copy sign will be passing 2 different parameters. So you can also see what is the return type of that one. Guys, are you understanding what I'm telling? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, fine. See, in this case of if you want to get an absolute value, so you can make use of FABS.
ಅಣ್ಣ ಈಗ ಲೈಕ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಬರೆಸ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅಣ್ಣ, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಾ?
ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ.
ಸರಿ
ಗುಡ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್, ಬಟ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ.
ನೀನು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ನ ನೀನು ನಾವು ಕಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. See, we have taken the help of math.factorial. So I have written extra code over here, like from math import factorial, but you can actually use math.factorial of x something. X means we can actually pass any kind of integer or anything. So did you understand what I am telling? So see, you can actually what is GCD? HCF, yeah. Okay, fine. HCF is there. So what is the function for LCM? You can actually look into it. See, so there are so many functions which you can make use of it. You have to try all these things. Okay, I think we can end the session by now. We'll be dealing with another tomorrow. So do you have any doubts? See, you can make use of log function over here, having a different kinds of base parameters. So do you have any doubts in this session? What we had discussed so far? I want
regarding the editor which you are using an online editor now.
Yeah.
I mean, can you just say which are the offline editors that we can use? Anaconda and whatever. Just please.
ನಾವು ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಕೋಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು.
Yeah, Visual Studio Code, all those things. Like what I said is, I just took an online editor just because all these functions will be inbuiltly there in that compiler. But in case of in our CPU editors, we have to install every kind of library that we just wanted to use it. So it takes a lot of time to implement, and it takes a lot of procedure to install different kinds of libraries. So as of now, I don't prefer any kind of offline compilers. I just prefer online compilers itself. You can actually make use of it.
Okay, I mean, we can learn NLP through this online
Yeah,
compiler
we can learn
session. I mean,
NLP through this
is
online
that
session.
okay? Okay,
Okay,
fine.
because as I told earlier, it is very difficult to install the things in a system since we are available with the free versions and free libraries.
ಅಣ್ಣ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಲೈಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ನಾನು ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು.
It depends upon the version that you are using in Python. As Karthik asked earlier, what's the difference between 2.4 and 3.6 and all those things?
Okay, now
Some
we'll
of
get
the
some
libraries,
installed libraries in the new version.
yeah, some of the libraries, outside libraries will not be inbuiltly there in editors, so we need to install that one. So we'll have
Okay.
another session how to install on all those things because it
Okay.
takes a lot of time.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have any doubts?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಣ್ಣ.
Okay. I just want everyone to give this feedback. This is my first time I'm teaching in online. Is there any doubt or I need to improve in my teaching? Please let me know, because I just wanted to make you understand in a better manner. Without knowing this, you cannot understand natural language processing. I just want everyone to speak over here. I think we can spare another 5 minutes. Is that okay?
ಅಣ್ಣ.
ಹ್ಞೂ ಅಣ್ಣ.
Yeah. Let me start with Vilas.
ಅಣ್ಣ ಹಲೋ ಅಣ್ಣ.
Yeah, Vilas.
ಹಾ ಅಣ್ಣ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಣ್ಣ. ಹಲೋ.
ಯಾ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಾರು ಎಲ್ಲಾನು?
ಹಾ ಅಣ್ಣ.
ಓಕೆ. ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿದ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ದೇನು ಕೆಲಸ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ನೋ ಹೌ ಟು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಕೊಲ್ಯಾಬ್ and some of the basics of Python. Okay, and one more thing is you have to tell me in the next section that what is the difference between importing the libraries and including the libraries. In C programming we actually type #include math.h or something like that, but in the case of Python we are actually importing the libraries, like import math, import tree, like that. So what is the difference between those two? So these are the things.
ಈಸಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ಲಣ್ಣ ಆನ್ಸರ್.
Yeah, tell me.
ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲಿಂಗ್ ದ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಟು ದ ಮಷೀನ್, ಅಂಡ್ like including the library is nothing but like taking those libraries and using those commands in our program.
You are actually somewhat near, but not exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah, others start. Some of them are actually started lefting the meeting. This is for you guys. You have to take it seriously. We are not actually made it compulsory.
ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ. ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಅದೊಂದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
It's not the exact answer. I am looking into it. Fine guys, try this at home, and I just want the feedback from you all. Nikita, are you there?
ಅಣ್ಣ.
Yeah.
ಅಣ್ಣ.
Tell me, did you understand?
ಎಸ್ ಅಣ್ಣ. ಅಣ್ಣ, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳೋದು, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟೇ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಕಂಪೈಲರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೆ ತಗೋಬೇಕು.
Just think and try. Okay.
Import andre like I think we have to use it again and again whenever we want, whereas include ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ we can use it a number of times. Maybe that difference.
ಅದಣ್ಣ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಮಷೀನ್, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್.
installing into the program. You're near the answer.
like using in the
ಅಣ್ಣ,
program.
Yeah.
ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಲೈಬ್ರರೀಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದನ್ನ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Okay.
ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಲೈಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನು ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಲೈಕ್
Okay.
ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರೀರ್ತೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರೆಯೋ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ದಟ್.
ಯಾ, ಶಿವರಾಜ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾರ್ದ, ಶಿಲ್ಪ ಹೇಳಿದಾರ್ದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇನ್ ಕೋಡ್. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಆ ಹೋಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಏನು ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫೈಲಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ವೆರಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್, we are actually transferring the parameters to that function itself. We are not actually including the whole program. The length of the code will be as much as we have written. Whereas in the case of the include, the whole program comes and sits in our program. So did you make the difference what I'm telling? In case of include,
Yes,
ಅಣ್ಣ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ?
ಯಾ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಅಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣನೇ ಸಪ್ರೇಟಾಗಿ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಕೋಡು, ಆ ಕೋಡ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಫೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅವೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್. ವೆರಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್, ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. In case of as we can see, in case of the factorial, we are just passing 5, right? And we are actually getting the output from that factorial function. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ನಾನು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ನ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನನಗೆ ಆ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ವೆರಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಅಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣನೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೋರಿಯಲ್ಗೆ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾಪಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರೆದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಾಪಿ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್, ವೆರಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್. Hence the length of the code will be increased in the case of include, whereas in case of import it's not.
ಓಕೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಅಣ್ಣ.
ನಾಳೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ?
ನಾಳೆ ಸಂಜೆನೆ.
ಇದೇ ಟೈಮ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಣ್ಣ. ಇದೇ ಟೈಮ್
6:30.
ಓಕೆ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಹಂಗೆ, ನಾನು ಫ್ರೀ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ನಾನು? ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನ ಕಷ್ಟವಾಗಿರೋದಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ ಸಾಕು. ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಇವತ್ತಿಂದ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಬರೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ. Okay guys, I think it's time. We shall meet tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.